We're good?
Hey, Jennifer.
You want to get the president to call it to order?
I need to let you know that I can't be here no more than quarters.
I see. You can just say you got to be.
The only thing we're talking about tonight, because Lonnie did not sign the call,
Okay.
is the current year budget and the finances of the town. We don't have anything else on the agenda, nothing else scheduled, and so our discussions need to stick to, because this is a called meeting, and if every council person isn't available to sign the call, then we have to stick with the agenda.
Okay.
So there'll be no closed session or anything like that. And before Billy and everybody get there, I'll just go back and rehash a couple things that we hit at that financial summit, if you remember earlier, and back in the late winter, we went over the financing plan. And I bring your attention to the point at the bottom of the first page that says the town of Blackstone's bonded debt as of October 1st. So we've made some payments down off this, but the total bonded debt, penalty and interest together, is over $13 million. Okay. Since that was done, we have paid off the medical center. That's paid off. We don't make any payments to the medical center, and we collect a nominal $1,900 and some dollar a month in rent. Okay. If you look at October 2020, you can see that our debt dropped to about 11.6. Okay. And that's including East End and the other things that we've got. These are the leases that we have in place right now with USDA. Okay. We borrow money and receive grant money from USDA for things like fire department vehicles, police cars, fire trucks, garbage trucks, things like that. So we talked a little bit last meeting with Dion, who came in, and we had a notice where you guys authorized us to hold a public meeting for a grant application to buy a fire truck. Okay. And I told you guys then, hey, we're going to have to be cautious because they want it in 2022, but you can see the current fire truck that we're paying on now isn't paid off till 2024. Okay. But we're going to do our best to get you there, and it's $750,000. So I think the fire department has an expectation we're going to do everything we can to buy that fire truck in 2022. Okay. Now, I think this is probably the most important part, and if you read the next section, it's under general fund. Okay. And for fiscal year 19, at the very top of the second page, you remember we have three basic funds that mirror the fund evaluation that's done by our auditor. We have water, sewer, we have electric, and we have general fund. And general fund is kind of the catch-all. That's the library, fire department, police department, zoning. If it ain't water and sewer and it ain't electric, it's general. In our audit last year, we were strong in the electric, not as strong, but strong in the water and sewer. Between the two, we showed a net of $1.5 million. And I can tell you what I did with that. That all went to reserve fund. Okay? And then the general fund is really unhealthy. Okay? And that's $77,000 in the red. And it would have been much worse if we had not included the fuel sales out of Pickett. Okay? We netted money from the fuel sales at Pickett, but we don't put that back into the general checking account. That money stays in an airport fund because the Department of Aviation wants it that way. And when we sell gas and we receive a net from it, we sell it for $2 and we bought it for $1. That $1 goes back into a separate fund from which we pay things like we just finished painting the fuel tanks and we put in a new access road to the industrial park. The general fund, not so good. Water and sewer electric, pretty good, doing better. Okay. If you read what are the reserve requirements, and this is a council before you, I think Eric would remember and Barbara would remember, but we went over this some time ago. And the reason we have a general fund reserve is obviously it makes good sense to have cash on hand because it makes your life a whole lot easier if something bad happens. But two, in 2011, when we could not make payroll, we were under a consent order with the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality, and a judge at Circuit Court in Richmond had ordered the town to replace a significant amount of sewer down on College, Lunenburg, Brunswick Avenue. In 2013, we did all that work, if you remember. It was torn up for, gosh, a year. Okay? We were under consent order. While we were working with the Virginia Resources Authority, who was the funding agency that provided the money for that project, it came to light that the town's finances were in tough shape. We couldn't make payment. And they revoked their offer to us. Okay? Eric and Barbara, you may remember, but they gave us a list of to-dos. These are the things you have to do, and one of them was to build an adequate reserve fund. Okay? We had none. We had zero. All right? So that started us in that course, man, we need to do these things. We sat down with Roland Cooch, who is the town's, I guess he's our financial advisor. He calls me once a year to notify me that we're still, you know, representing you guys. But really what he does for the most part is our bond deals. We borrow money for East End. If you remember that gentleman that's been in here a few times. So we sat down, what is the appropriate figure? The methodology for the reserve fund is, on the general fund, our auditors want to see 15% of our general fund budget in a reserve. Okay? And that comes out to about $1 million. You've got that. We've done that. That's behind it. Okay? Water and sewer, Roland recommended 6 months of operating, so half of our expenditure for the year. And our water and sewer at that time, and I still updated it for this year, our total revenue from water and sewer, total expenditure, about $2.4 million. Okay?
Per
6 months
year.
of that in a year, and 6 months of that is $1.2 million. You got that. That's done. Okay? Electric is where we're working now. Okay? And we have, in the electric fund, today, we have 140, we got about $1,250,000. So what is the total and what is the target for reserve? The target is $3.7 million. That's what was in the order back then. If you read down, we will, on October 1st this year, reach our goal. Okay? And that is in the last and the recommendation. Last page. And it says, establish October 1st, 2019, with the date reserve fund fully funded. That's when we lock them. Except we can draw interest off of them if we choose to. Okay? We're allowed to use the interest. You're allowed to use any of it. But we can draw every year the interest off the reserves every year and put it back into the general fund to help supplement or do that sort of thing. Okay? The same goes with our perpetual care fund that we have for the cemetery. We can't touch the principal, but we can touch the interest on the perpetual care fund to help with the operations of the cemetery. We've got an investment of about $227,000 now, which has grown some. We invested $227,000, and I think there have been interest income and that sort of thing, but the principal, the base principal that we started with, $227,000. Remember, perpetual care is just 10% of the sale of the lot. We sell a lot for $400, $360 goes in operating fund, $40 goes to perpetual care. So that's the methodology behind the reserve fund. Okay? October 1st, we're on schedule, we're going to make it, and we're going to be done with that. Okay? What is the next thing that we need to think about? We need to think about East End. Okay? We borrowed $1.5 million and we only raised the rate 3%. Okay? Because the intention of the plan was, as we finish the reserve fund, we're going to take those same dollars that we've been setting aside in reserve, and we're going to apply it to paying down that East End. It's got 4.5% interest. It's our highest interest rate debt, if you remember. And that's part of the reason why I did a 2-year interest only. I was kind of a stickler with the banks that we needed 2 years interest only to keep the payments off me until October of 2019. Okay?
You said raise the rate 3%, that was the water rate.
That's water.
We
and
only,
sewer.
we only saved, raised it 3%.
That was just to pay for East End.
Right.
That's to pay for East End, but it's not enough if we don't use
Start
those
using
monies and
what we
pay
have.
down that bond quicker. The 3% represents a plan that, coupled with that $56,000 a month that we're sticking on the reserve fund, the retirement of a bond that was back in the fall, and making the regular payments.
Will we always have debt at the water treatment plant, being that we have a total of $7 million worth of debt out there? Will we always have that?
No, it'll be paid off in 2034. It's a 20-year note, fixed at 3%, Carter Bank did it, and we refinanced it in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't always have it, but I can tell you.
But by that time, you're gonna need to build a new plant,
The
probably.
capital improvements.
You're gonna always have debt in Blackstone.
Appreciate
Oh,
it,
yeah.
all that goes, if you need to replace pumps, motors, and
Yeah. We're gonna always have, I mean, I think a healthy debt level someday would be $5 to $7 million based on our budget. Of course, the budget could grow, but you're
It's
gonna, I
been
mean,
how
you're
much
gonna have
before?
debt.
12, 14? What's been our debt?
It's been a high point of 14, it's now about, it's,
10 now.
13.
but it's fixing to go to 10, isn't it?
On October 1st,
It'll be
2018,
10.7.
we
Yeah.
had about 13 million, 13 plus. And then it's in October, and we've made payments off of that now. And in October, because we paid off medical center, we won't have anything else paid off till 2022 unless we keep on sticking with that East End. We'll owe about 11.5.
It's high. But most of the debt is due to the, I mean, I don't mind telling y'all, it's due to the decision by the previous council years ago, which I don't blame them at the time, but taking on that, you know,
Water plant?
Uncle Sam made a deal with us about the sewer and water. In my opinion, in hindsight, we should have said, hey, look, in 1942, y'all condemned our water and sewer plants. Y'all fix it, Congress, or y'all are gonna be on the nightly news as a little town that left us.
Town borrowed $7.5 million to renovate the water plant.
That was,
And we're down, as of October, we're down to $4.5 million.
yeah. But the town leaders at the time in the mid-90s were concerned that if the town did not act, some private entity would come in and we'd be at the mercy of the private entity for, you know, at least here you can come to the council meetings and complain about your water bill. If some private company owns it, good luck trying to go to a shareholders meeting and,
In 2022, we'll pay off the wastewater plant.
Well,
Our
Aqua,
$1 million that we borrowed to match the $3 million that the federal government put at the wastewater.
a private company named Aqua came to us 2-3 years ago. But if you research their rates where they do purchase the systems, they go up drastically.
They do mainly private systems, you know, where there's not good management or somebody doesn't want to fool with the subdivisions.
I mean, if our rates are $70 for water and sewer, I mean, you're talking probably $100 at least.
yeah.
So everybody got a copy? I think
This is
that,
good. We had this at our summit, financial summit, didn't we?
I just wanted to go back over the methodology for the reserve fund amount, and then October 1st, we're on schedule, and unless some great calamity happens, that's over with. And those funds that we have available every month, well then, our intention is to put them on East End and get that paid down. That, coupled with the 3% and the payoff of that previous bond, we paid another bond off where we ran force main out to Fort Pickett years ago down West Entrance Road by Greenview Cemetery. That was paid off back in the fall. Okay? So that's the plan. That's what we'd like to do. I know there's other projects. I know there's other things. Priorities change and all those kind of things. We just gotta understand that where the reserve fund figure comes from, and that's the plan after October 1st is to really jump on East End and get that paid down. Okay.
Very good. I apologize for my tardiness. If y'all discussed the proposed budget?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
And Mr. Miller needs to leave by 6:45.
7.
Okay. You want council tonight to decide on a budget to advertise for public hearing, is that correct?
We gotta get it in the paper. We're looking for a 19th.
Yeah, if it's in the 12th paper,
And then adoption on the 26th,
right.
which is a Wednesday, I think.
That would be in keeping with your timetable. The question, I guess, before council is what budget do you want to advertise? Of course, you can advertise a budget and vote against the budget.
Or you can reduce the budget.
Right, you just can't,
You just can't.
advertise high, adopt low. You can't approve something higher than that which you advertise.
I do not have the final VEMA number. However, I have been notified from VEMA that our expectations are that it is gonna come down pretty significantly.
The increase.
Decrease.
Well, but the increase, the
Usually-
proposed 10%.
We were looking at 10.1 last time we met.
For energy consumption, the net was 5.3%.
Right.
I expect, and hopefully Monday we'll have something, Dan thinks it'd be bad Monday when we get a response. I expect the energy consumption part, which was the gross increase in the purchase of power, to be down by 4%.
Do we know the fuel adjustment's coming down? That's a straight pass-through.
That's already down.
We're already billing the new rate
But we were looking, the last time this council gathered, we were looking at a possible 10.1% increase from Dominion.
on the rate.
On the rate, you're saying that may, you
I
anticipate,
believe that's gonna come down based on an email I received that there is gonna be a true up this year to our positive, and that'll be reflected in the bills.
So you think instead of 10%, without the fuel adjustment charge, it could be 6%?
It'd be a 6% increase
And then you take the fuel adjustment charge and then
which
it's,
will be a net of about 1%, but I'm conjecturing.
Okay.
The net would be down to about 1% if my
That's true.
calculations are correct. But this is for real, this is happening.
What happened in the last month all of a sudden? Did somebody put heat on Dominion? I know they're catching heck on the SEC, thinks they were not transparent, but that wasn't about VEMA. That was just about what's made them change their tune the last month. Do we have any idea, other than
I don't know,
conjecture?
but I did receive a notice that Southside's requesting an increase in their rates as well. I don't know if you got that little card.
I'm not a Southside customer.
If anybody here is a Southside customer, they recently mailed out a card that they were approaching the State Corporation Commission for an increase in their base rates.
How
They do
much?
it a little different. I called up there, I couldn't get through the operator.
Isn't that interesting? Well, let me ask you, just so people know, and it was either last year or the year before last, I used to remember stuff like this. There was a recent year, may have been last year, you stood at the podium, you thought we were gonna get an 11% increase, a decrease from Dominion.
Correct.
It ended up being about a 10% or 8%
I think it was
decrease.
like an 8%.
And we passed on only 3% of that to the customer.
Right.
and then
So
last
so
year-
without being blunt, just, one could argue that the town of Blackstone pocketed 5%.
I can't say they did.
And I remember Mr. Nash made a comment, something to the fact, I don't want to misquote you, that, hey, look, I'm gonna remember this, if we have a rate increase
Well, last year, we took back 2 of that, I
He
think.
came back 2 last year.
for fire and police capital
No.
purchase.
Did not raise rates 2%
Yeah.
last year.
So we're down to positive 3% is
3%.
what.
Plus, one of those percents, we've been buying fire trucks and police cars.
That's what I thought,
If you
okay.
remember, 1% of that keep was specific to public safety, and we bought, what did we do this thing? I think about police cars.
Right, it wasn't for general operations of the town. It was specifically for capital.
And we put $34,000 in, I may have it wrong, into the fire department
Okay.
fund this year. Put the 1% away there, right? So I believe the rate will come down. Advertisement can be 50% increase, but we don't need to increase it, trust me, any more than what that net would be. Okay? So if we come back with a rate increase of 6 and a net increase of still 5% decrease, that's all you would need. So I believe it's gonna be appreciably low. Just
Okay.
keep the folks' bill net the same.
Right.
And that's what my goal would be. All right? It may mean a 1% or a 2% increase to keep that net the same, but it's appreciably lower than the 5% that we were talking about.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, on the garbage, when it left the committee level, I thought that the committee was recommending a $4 increase in garbage, but it's $3.
3.
Okay,
And the purpose of the $3 is twofold.
okay,
Okay, the first of which is, again, with the general fund, we're trying to put garbage activities into the garbage department. If you know Ricky Clark, he's the guy with the,
cherry picker.
and he picks up mattresses and your neighbor's sticks and picks up stuff, rubbish, okay? His salary is for the most part been paid for by VDOT funding, okay? We can make the argument that the leaves need to be picked up using VDOT monies in the general fund because they clog up drainages and all this kind of stuff, okay? Including the street sweeping, that's in the street department, okay? Ricky's been paid out of the street department for years in an effort to eliminate that shortfall that we have in the general fund. My recommendation of the committee was $3, and that basically pays for Ricky and his truck to be in the garbage department. Okay? And it gives a raise to the garbage man. There's a salary adjustment for the garbage man.
So if someone fusses at us about the $3 increase, that's the reason and the only reason why.
Salaries and to move Ricky. And if you also look, this is not a reason why, but if you look at our comparison with other like communities, twice a week on your back porch is pretty darn good service. And there's not a lot of people.
No doubt, but no doubt. And the garbage men, I have heard, in a time when you don't hear a lot of people publicly calling for government employees to make more money, I hear nothing but love and adoration for the garbage
They're
people.
getting a raise, and we'll talk about that on the 17th in closed session. We didn't advertise today. We're on the call for a closed
Right,
session.
right.
And we'll have a committee meeting to do it.
Could you do it with $2? Could you get by with a $2 increase? Here's the reason I look at it, and it's not your fault, but we went from $7 to $14 a month in 2015. That was the budget I vetoed
You went from 7 to 10, and then 10 to 14.
in a very short period of time.
Since I've been here for 8 years, we went from 10 to 14, and 14 or
So it's 10 to 14, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's a little bit fast, and the thing I worry about is this. Again, we all want the town to succeed, and we're all happy that the town has $3.4 million in reserves and going to match its plan. what I do hear from a lot of people is that the businesses and the people, their costs are continually going up. And they don't want Blackstone to become a locality where it's a nice town, but it's just too costly to live there.
Here's what we're gonna propose to
Okay.
you in the next couple of months. We get it. And I've got the text message.
You hear, you see it.
And the town's costs are going up too, so that's the main reason.
But what I wanna do is part of what we're doing, and we're not ready yet, but I would like to work with the committee, is come up with a tiered commercial plan.
I like that.
Because right now, if you're Walmart or McDonald's, you use a lot of service, and they pay the same amount as Dr. Wright's dental office.
What is a commercial rate?
28 bucks a month.
Flat fee, no matter who.
28, yeah.
28
Okay.
bucks. And then we've got some out of town, like the state police, that pay an appreciable amount.
What does the $3 increase bring in per year?
60. I'm gonna have to defer to my friend Jennifer.
It was 60,000.
60, yeah.
I remember that question being asked before.
Crew is $16 a month, they're twice a week. And they also, I've been told by people who live there, they go, you know, they don't require street pickup, they appreciate it, but they'll go in your yard.
I do think, and if $2 is $2, I mean, maybe we look at another dollar next year. Maybe we look at some tier, and that's, we'll do our best to get there. Each dollar would bring in $10,000, or excuse me, each dollar brings in $20,000.
So Tom is right, 60 grand. Okay, all
So
right.
what does other communities do for like McDonald's? What does Crew charge for commercial?
Yeah, Crew has a Hardee's, which I'm sure has considerable,
The study that Jennifer prepared shows the Southfield's $15 for residential, $25 for commercial. Crew's $15 residential, $54 for commercial. Farmville's 10 and 10. And Alta Vista's pickup is built into
Do any of them have a tiered commercial
I don't
program?
think we asked those questions, I think we were just asking their.
Oh, it's 10 and
rates,
10.
but
with the
those
college.
only ones that really
It is.
can't be-
Well, they got so much volume, that's probably why.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's some kind of deal with the college, I guarantee you. I
They
mean,
probably really hit those state agencies pretty good.
yeah.
Pickup frequency for residential, we're twice a week, and we're as many as 5 times a week on the dumpsters. McDonald's, Marty's, big guys that are overflowing those guys. South Hill is 1 time a week commercial, 1 time a week on residential. Crew, 3 times a week on the commercial, 1 time a week on residential.
Okay, well, I've got a friend who lives in Crew that swears every Tuesday, Thursday, their trash is picked up, but that's okay. That's fine.
I
That's fine,
That may
fine.
not be right.
That's fine.
Alta Vista, once a week for commercial, once a week for residential, and Cambridge is once a week residential.
Yeah, there are some, well, yeah, you have it on here 5 for commercial. There are some that, commercial, they get it
No, it's
every day here in Blackstone.
Is there any incentive that we could propose for commercials to do something with a cardboard rather than going into the,
We do cardboard now, you know, we
do
compact
we
it.
have a baler?
We do,
Okay.
and we sell cardboard. The price, and I think a lot of that cardboard is not as valuable as it was. At one point, we were getting $90 a ton, the most quoted price that I have, and I don't have 16 bales, which is what we can get on our truck and get to Richmond. I think we're gonna be more like in the $50 range. So it's not wildly profitable, but it could reduce places like Circle Sales. They throw out a lot of boxes. We used to get them because he used to flatten them, but I don't think Walter Mack has.
We throw a lot of boxes out. We have a decent number of boxes.
But I would say the majority of the businesses end up in the dumpster. They
Go in
don't,
the dumpster.
they
Oh, yeah,
don't,
most
the
of them.
businesses don't bring them to the,
Appliance boxes, mattress boxes, all that kind of big stuff, they end up over the Bevel dumpsters all the time.
They do.
Heritage Hall is a champ. They recycle, flatten them things, I mean, all that food service stuff. So we do have it. We have a baler. It's a no call. The garbage men bail it when they finish their route before they go home. And we bought the baler probably in 2011 or 12, if you remember. I think we paid $6,000 for it, and we probably sold $5,000 worth of cardboard since then.
Is this gonna sound crazy, and Philip may shoot me, but, I heard what the mayor was saying about electric, and it's good that it's gonna go down, obviously, hopefully.
I think it will go down.
Just keep passing through what we need to pass through, but I feel more comfortable if we just go ahead until we do a tiered schedule. Just go up a $1 on the residential side and $2 on the commercial, that way it'd make it 15 and 30.
Is that
until-
what we get?
Yeah,
We're just gonna have to make some adjustments on the
I mean, $3,
expenditures.
I don't know, I feel like we can find it somewhere for something that simple.
And let's get on the tiered as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We got a year to plan
Yeah,
that.
we'll have to-
Maybe
we'll
we
have
can
to do it
unveil that
within a
sooner.
budget year.
You can make it, you don't have to wait till budget to do garbage, you can, but you can come back with a mid-year,
true, you can.
a mid-year plan.
That's our plan, is to come back to you with a tiered commercial.
Now, I mean, I don't wanna make someone that, obviously, we've got a lot, I mean, McDonald's gets a lot, Heritage Hall gets a lot, Walmart, I mean, they're big
Yeah,
consumers.
Heritage Hall's a definitive user
Yeah.
of our garbage.
When you have
They've
4 and
got
5 dumpsters.
180 people living there.
What's Walmart?
I think Walmart does a lot of their own baling
Compacting
and
and
compacting of their
Okay.
plastic and their
Cardboard.
styrofoam and all
Food
that
Lion,
stuff,
how
cardboard.
about Food, they're in town, how about Food Lion, same deal?
I think they do a lot of stuff. If you go back behind it, you'll see bales of cardboard.
You go to a lot of businesses. Food Lion has a CFS dumpster. O'Reilly's has a CFS dumpster. I don't know why they do it, because they're paying for their trash in Blackstone no matter what.
God bless them.
But
So when you say commercial, is that like anyone that
whoever's
owns a
getting charged
dumpster?
28 right now
Yeah.
is gonna get charged.
Whoever has a dumpster, is that considered commercial?
I mean, it could be somebody as small as
Or is that like?
Business
a
license, I mean, I go by your business license, is what I do.
Anybody's got a
the
business
carpet
license.
factory. They actually use it pretty often, but right next door there's a counseling, start environment or behavioral.
Yeah.
They pay the same as McDonald's, which is
So if you own a dumpster, then you're paying 20, is that
No.
what you're saying?
if you
You're a
have
commercial
a
business.
if you're in town, you get a garbage bill.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
just say that Eddie Nash owns that dumpster behind
His
us,
will-
is that a commercial rate?
Yeah.
Okay, if you
But-
own a dumpster,
no.
no, okay.
Everybody that has a commercial account in Blackstone pays $20,
Yeah.
whether you have your own dumpster or not. A lot of businesses don't have their own dumpster, i.e.,
Trend.
more environmental, and that's stretched down through there. They use
Trend.
those dumpsters
I
that
mean-
belong to the town.
Town.
Right.
Trend doesn't have dumpsters. I mean,
Is what constitutes a commercial rate,
Trend.
the fact that you have a business license, is that the
It's
definitive?
either that or when you get your utilities cut off.
I think it's the utility, I
Utility.
think the way the system tiers it is how it classifies the account.
Okay.
So it's classifying the account as commercial.
You'll see all kinds of scrambling, whatever criteria you use
So
to
what does Nottaway Publishing pay? Do you know?
28.
$28.
So y'all are considered commercial?
Yes,
Every-
Do you
Yeah.
have a dumpster?
we do not.
So whether you pay
You don't
$28.
generate that much trash. I
We
guess.
really don't. We try to, of course, we don't recycle like we used to because the recycling dumpster's
Paper
gone,
bin
but,
in there.
yep. Our trash is basically, I'll be honest with you, it's basically everybody at their little work desk, paper. It's lunch, it's not a lot. It's not a lot.
We need to come up with a tier choice.
Yeah.
I think let's just go up $1, make it an even figure. $1 on residential, $2 on commercial. So that would be $30 for commercial.
I think that's what's happened here, and it's no criticism of, for years, I think our forefathers kept things down. Like I said, we had to make that jump from 10 to 14. And I think people, you want to hold the cost down as much as you can. Small incremental jumps people can live with and understand, especially when you say garbage employees getting a raise, that where the lowest paid one is $10.
Lowest paid one.
The lowest paid one, that means they're all making 10, some are,
At least 10.
right, we want to make the bare minimum 10.
Bare minimum is.
I think that's,
And that's for the laborers too, to cut grass?
yes, yes.
Okay, the guys that, part-time, everybody, we don't hire, if the budget passes, we don't hire anybody less than $10. Entry level is $10.
Right.
Which is, we need to do that.
They still say this living wage, though, is more than that.
It absolutely is, but I can tell you right now, you'd be surprised what businesses are paying in Blackstone, Virginia, even, viable, successful businesses. You're right, but it's also, it's tough out there in the private sector. I can tell you, despite what you see on television, small town America is not feeling the boom, I can promise you. The people I talk to.
We'll do the best we can, obviously. I would ask, and the garbage is fine, and I'd like to get our final VEMA numbers and try to pass it through. If we can pass
No,
it.
that's what I
The
said.
net, so that the net.
That's why I said, leave
customer
that
bill
as
the
is.
same. Right.
So that way the residential doesn't feel, and then we keep only go up $1 on the trash.
When you advertise, I'd have an asterisk. This is the rate as of whatever date that was in May. We anticipate a possible reduction in this, just to let people know.
We're not asking for any more than what would create a net bill that a customer is the same.
How does council feel about Mr. Nash's proposal of going up $1 on the residential and $2 on the commercial in the proposed budget? Advertising that. How does council feel about that? instead of a flat 3.
Sounds good.
Then the only unresolved obstacle, I believe, is the tax increase for the ditches.
That's there, it's $60,000.
Right.
They proposed a 4-cent tax increase to pay for and to create a cap so that you guys have a budget to work with, okay? You're gonna get a bunch of these at the next council meeting.
Right.
They're coming, okay? Everybody that got turned down over the past.
We've received 2 since the last
10
meeting.
years, yeah,
Right.
that's right. The intention was to set that money aside. It's not going to anything other than ditches in that budget. There's a $60,000 in and a $60,000 out, and it's specific to that.
So it's a 4-cent tax.
4-cent tax. increase.
22 to 26 cents.
And that's generating $60,000 a year.
Which isn't a lot, I mean,
No, that's,
About
that's,
$3
18%, yeah.
Per person, on average.
So that's just on real estate.
Just,
I mean,
yeah, yes, real estate.
my feeling about that is, I don't think that we should do that now, because I'm gonna tell you why I say this. You might as well face it. Something's gonna be done either about the armory or recreation, whatever we gonna do. Okay, here we are now, we saying we're gonna raise 4%. Then this comes up, you never know when it's gonna come up. One way or another it's gonna come up. Then, you talking about jacking, like you say, you probably go from 4 cent to 28 cent. So I think we should hold off.
I can tell you, any real estate tax increase in Blackstone is going to be always hard to sell,
right.
whether it's for
Right.
this or for the armory or for anything, because we get hit twice by us and the county.
Correct.
So it's going to be hard. I mean,
It's gonna be hard.
either way. So
And we can live with that. I mean,
no, this is
it's not
something we
paying
can.
raises or electric bills or anything.
You made that clear. And I commend you. Here's the good news, folks. Here's the good news. I know that you get cringe when I say this. Slow and steady wins a race. 7 years ago, we couldn't make payroll. We couldn't do anything. We've got $3.4 million in the banks. Our problems are relatively good ones. Yes, we have a huge question mark over the Army. Keep socking it away. Take requests on a merit basis. And yes, that may mean at times you have to do that uncomfortable thing of dipping in that general fund, which our forefathers got us in trouble a little bit on that. But if we're all responsible, I just don't like the narrative that's out there that Blackstone just can't get enough money. They got $3.5 million in the bank, and look, they're trying to sock it to me on electrical rate, the garbage, and the real estate. I know that that's not totally true, but you're a victim of your own success. We can't sit there and go, hey, look at us, but all right, now we want to. I just say keep it on cruise control. You're socking it away, man. Sock it away.
Let me offer an option here.
All right.
If we got $3.4 million in reserve, and if we do go for that interest, take that interest, we're talking about $150,000.
I don't think it's quite that much because
Well, it's more than 60.
it's more than 60. Yeah, I
So-
think we,
So why don't we just use that for that account, and then nobody pays nothing?
With great discretion, with great, as this council
we
has.
have not budgeted the use of the interest.
I don't think we should have any account to go towards ditches simply
Because you're going to get 10 more
you're
there.
gonna- yeah, you're going to get it. Once you, I mean, if we open it further, trust me, it's going to come. It's going to flood.
So how are we gonna handle this? I mean, like you say, it's
Well,
already,
better do that
it's
than
already,
Pay for it out of the general fund.
it's
That's why the
already,
original council said no.
but it's already out of whack. You can see
But
it
they
now.
didn't. They said, you pay for the pipe, and the town paid for it. That was us paying for it out of our pocket.
In public right of way, not on private property. We still have that policy right now. You can pay for the pipe
On town property.
on town property. I did it. I did it myself. I mean, on that ditch in front of my
And on
house.
private property, it requires the property owner to pay the full.
And they all have their own nuances. I mean, the Linda Blevins thing was, in my mind, pretty easy. The Phillip Arms is a little bit cloudy, but it's got some merits. And there are going to be others that are going to have their own merits. But like I said, we don't go spin like drunken sailors. We just stay restrained, look, and maybe just say, you know what, we'll try to, we might be able to do one a year.
My concern is though, if we say no to some, does that raise legal merit? Do they get all in a wad? I mean, we just gave $4,000 away because somebody possibly would bring legal action against us.
Oh, we can get sued any day. We can get
So-
sued tonight. I mean,
I don't know. I always go by two wrongs don't always make a right. So, okay, yeah, Phillip Arms ditch. We may have poured concrete down there or something 60 years ago.
I
But
found an easement, by the way, at the courthouse. There is an easement between he and the town.
Wow.
Not for the undeveloped portion.
Right.
But for the portion.
Just for the
Dillard's
portion,
Church
then.
back
then that's where we're liable. Then it's real simple. We're liable right there.
just to
To
that
that
point.
portion.
That little portion.
But his requested for the,
But the beauty of that, here's the beauty. The beauty about that and the beauty about Linda Blevins, we now, going forward, and We have a written document that says, here's what we're responsible for, and that's it. That's great that y'all found that. I commend our forefathers for actually recording that easement. That's awesome. But you're like me. Here's the way I look at the town government. The town with a capital T is doing very well and wants to have all these line items segregated, which is great. Just like my wife and I, we have a checking account and a savings account. We try to sock it away in the savings account and use the checking account only. But however, we all know there comes those times where we got to go pull out that savings, and we
That's
don't.
why Tom's point is interesting. We're not planning to use that interest income at this, starting July 1 for any purpose.
Right.
And you got 4 million, and maybe the interest
We
income could.
pay off the debt more.
You can pay off debt.
Sure.
But I really do have to work on that East End project, getting that debt down, because if I don't, that 3% is gonna come back.
Correct.
and pinch us.
Correct.
I mean, I just look, we leave so much gray water, like, I mean, and I'm not gonna get on another topic because we can't go into it with Lonnie missing, but if we just say, okay, we'll do it based on merit, that's like us last month, we said, hey, Armory, yeah, you can fix your stuff, and then we get the debacle this week as to who's paying for the items.
The only thing I'll disagree with you there is you use a bad pronoun. You said your stuff. That's our baby.
Oh, yeah, it's
That
yeah.
is the town of Blackson's building, and
Oh, I agree. No.
God bless them. And
So it's just one of those things where when you have gray areas,
No, the motion
just-
from council was really clear.
the motion from council said
And
that,
I've talked to Walter Mag, and
what was the motion include? What was the motion? Because he called me too.
we provide labor, he pays for the material.
Okay.
all right, let's not get into that because
No,
that's not.
no,
on the
we can't
agenda.
talk about that tonight. But that's okay. It's okay. What do y'all want to advertise? Y'all want to advertise the budget as presented with a only $1 residential garbage increase, $2 commercial increase. The rate as he's going to, right now it's 10.1% increase on the
I
rate.
don't have, but I guarantee you,
Go down.
it'll
Right.
only.
And we may have more information next week.
I believe it'll be less.
Okay. And then the only thing we haven't really, do you want to advertise a 4 cent, which is an 18% tax increase on real estate, or do you want to keep it as it is? It's 4 cents, but it's 18%.
I'm gonna keep it
Although
as.
seven.
Keep
Keep it as it is?
Keep it as it is.
All right. What other issues? Someone,
That's no.
I heard a consent no. If someone wanted to make a motion to advertise,
But you guys gotta be realized, there's gonna be some demand on you.
At some point,
there already is.
yeah, it is. But I mean, all of us, including myself, I hate to say no sometimes too, but we got to say no sometimes.
That's the other option.
But we just gotta be fair when we say
We gotta
that.
be fair.
We gotta be fair.
Oh, yeah. Like if Phillips ditch was failing on the easement, okay, the easement's there. But I think beyond, and I've told Philip to his face, I said, Philip, I love you to death and he loves me, but I'm not gonna vote for your ditch. And he knows that.
But I think
It's a
he,
long
But for that
stretch.
easement, now if it was on that easement,
Stretch.
yes, we,
right.
There is a maintenance easement for the improved portion.
And that's where y'all have done a great job. Y'all,
Which would include what is scouring on the outcome of that.
I think an
Even though
argument
it's
could be
not
made right there at the
easement,
mouth
you
of the
could
pipe.
make an argument that you caused that, so therefore.
But there's
you
still
have to fix
another
it.
100+ feet.
Yeah,
of
no, that
ditch
extra, that's the piece.
But it
that
is
I'm
scouring when it
real keen on.
cascades out of the pipe, it is scouring.
So no real estate increase.
that's what I'm hearing.
Motion that would not have a real estate increase.
Ms. Jones, a second. The motion be to advertise the budget as we just discussed. No real estate increase. The $1 residential garbage increase, $2 commercial proposed. And then the proposed electrical rate increase. Hopefully the AI will show the fact that the increase may be significantly smaller, which may result in a neutral or only slightly higher light
Our
bill.
goal is that the net, our goal would be that whatever the 10.1 goes down, say it goes to 6%, that the only necessity would be 0.7% to make it a net.
Okay.
Same for
Okay.
So moved.
Ms. Jones, a second at Ms. Hasbrook's motion. Any further discussion?
Okay, so
This is just to advertise the proposed budget.
Christine Hasbrook and Sheila Jones motion.
No real estate increase.
So we're checking her calendar here to make sure what the date is we want to advertise it.
Advertised June 12th, hearing on June 19th,
Correct.
adoption June 26th.
At the earliest, the 26th, you gotta have 7 days
June
between
19th,
adding public hearing and public hearing.
and then what is the
Adoption is the 26th.
adoption is the 26th. So at the 19th meeting, we will continue it to the 26th.
That's correct.
Okay. So what do you do for the public hearing for do not you just advertise?
That'll be January 19th will be June 19th will be a special meeting public hearing only.
Right, so what you're asking is, so you
Because
just
you got a call sheet, what do you do to?
You know, you may be right to have to do a special call for that.
It's just easier, it's cleaner.
I know
Because
it's
we've
booger for you,
normally
but-
done it on the
Normally it's been the third Monday in June.
Right.
That's right.
So can you continue the 17th meeting?
To the
Yeah, but it may
to
be
the 19th.
cleaner.
But to make it more specific?
Yeah,
So people will know?
yes.
special call.
Yeah, special call gets more attention.
So special call will be on the 19th, and then we'll continue that meeting
Correct.
to adopt it on the 26th.
6 at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Well, we'll get the time straight. I like 7 just because
Because y'all do forget.
kind of geared towards 7.
So we're looking at the 19th for the special call,
Yes.
for the
Okay, now,
17th for the
Eric,
regular
while
meeting.
you're talking now, are you here?
No, I won't be here for the public hearing,
But you'll be here for adoption.
but I'll be here for adoption.
And usually at that
As long as
meeting,
I'm here.
usually that meeting on the 26th when we adopt a budget, but there's usually a few carryover things we have to close out the year.
I'm gonna have a couple bids that I've gotten that I wanna get resolved before the 4th
Right.
of July for
Right.
the tar tank down at Farmers.
Oh, be honest.
Okay,
It will be a
so,
separate.
The what?
I got bids
they're not on
it.
the, that's not on the agenda.
We're-
Okay, so we're good on the dates.
Motion
Good
made.
on the motion.
Yep.
You good with,
I'm good.
you understand everything and then? okay.
Only thing I would like to say before I entertain a vote, and it'll be a roll call vote starting with, I believe, is it Colonel Tom still? Because we're in June still. Well, that's a new month. It would start with Christine.
Christine, 'cause I was.
I would like to say that I did have a proposal to incentivize police officers to live in town by paying them $3,000 a year more. I apologize to anyone that took offense at the way I presented that proposal, which was here in a public meeting in front of y'all and the police chief. I still strongly believe that that is a good thing for Blackstone, but I'm not going to fall on a sword for it, but I just want the record to show. I think that it's a pay equity issue. If you hire 2 officers tomorrow, John and Sally, John lives in Blackstone, Sally lives in South Hill. They start at the same salary. You're spending more money on Sally in South Hill than John in Blackstone. The police car that John drives is a deterrent to crime. John gets to live among the citizens that he serves, and I just want to get that on the record. But
And the committee we just referred to the chief and he's,
I heard, and that's fine. But I just want to get that on the record and everybody understand. We'll have a roll call vote on Ms. Hasbrook's motion, starting with Ms. Hasbrook.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Miller had to leave, and Mr. Morgan's on vacation. With no further business, I'll adjourn this meeting. We'll next meet again on the 3rd Monday, which is a week from this coming Monday, at 7 o'clock, and I apologize for my tardiness. Lord have mercy. 6:50.
Jennifer called.
Jennifer called. I said, I got to sign stuff.
She called.